On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50. 3/5 of the senators duly chosen and sworn not having voted in the affirmative. The motion is not agreed to.
Hey, was that a screenshot of my computer reading the Jim Crow Museum page website? Yeah, that's what's in the background there running on my computer. I didn't even realize that till just right now. I didn't even realize that. But yeah, the Senate did it, everybody. They voted against voting, which is a very meaningful vote, considering it might be the very last vote in this fading democracy of ours. You know, I knew it was going to fail. We talked about it yesterday. I was very upset about it yesterday. That my hair was dirty. So if I yelled at you, I'm sorry. But we talked about it yesterday, and I knew this was going to happen. You knew this was going to happen. We all knew this was going to happen. But it's just like being kicked in the crotch, you know? Like when it actually happens, it still freaking hurts. I didn't think it would hurt that much. It hurt so much to watch that swill last night pass for something somehow related to self-governance and democracy. I mean, you know, look, let's just face it. The tyrannical minority that is the Republican Party is winning. They are winning in the minority. So what is the use of being in the majority if the minority can still kick you in the crotch in public over and over and over again? You know that Mitch McConnell has dedicated his life to the preservation of his power. And in order to do that, he has decided that every Democratic president must fail, which means that the people of this country must be failed. I'm so sorry, but you know, we're at this point where we're not even extending voting rights. We're literally at the precipice of having to restore voting rights. And I think what I was telling you was that it's much easier to handle it on this end of it than it is on the back end of having to restore voting rights that the Republicans are interested in taking away. And the only reason that they're interested in you at all is because when the people show up, they lose. And that cannot happen again to Mitch McConnell. You ask me what will change them. I'm telling you what changes them. Losing changes them. And this crop makes them even more vicious. It makes them ridiculously vicious because the Republicans they're not policy people, okay? They're not interested in you at all unless you are showing up to vote, okay? Other than that, you can go to hell. And I think everybody in this audience knows that. You can go to hell. Minimum wage, go to hell. Health care, go to hell. The only thing that they care about is you voting because they've done nothing policy-wise, nor will they, to make your life sparkly or better or give more people access to opportunity. They won't even give you access to a ballot. Every single Republican voted against this. Every single one, 50-50. They all voted against. This shows you how much actual love for democracy Susan Collins has. This shows you exactly how much love for democracy Mitt Romney has. Lisa Murkowski has. They're all in favor of an anti-democratic fascist regime as long as Donald Trump isn't at the head of it because he's too vulgar. He's too vulgar. So are we looking for a moderate anti-democratic fascist regime? Is that what we're aiming for, Mitt? Is that what you're looking for, Sue? Lisa? I mean, every single one of them voted no for you to be able to vote, every single one of them. And Mitch McConnell is the most disgusting of them all, only because he just gets up there and lies, okay? I mean, it's really, this is the Southern strategy on steroids all over again. And he's decided to tell you there is no voter suppression. There isn't.
Well, the biggest lie being told in American politics in recent weeks has been that the states are involved in a systematic effort to suppress the vote. There is no effort in any state in America to suppress votes based upon suppression of minority participation. There's nothing broken around the country.
There's nothing broken around the country. So then why are they legislating as if there was something broken that needed fixed? Why are they doing that in all these Republican states? Let me just tell you a couple of things before we get into our conversation about what's to be done, because we're not done. We're getting close to being done. I will say that, much closer than I ever wanted to live through. I never really wanted to live through the 60s, except for, the clothes and maybe the drugs. I don't know. I was just too young. But 87% of Americans, there was a poll today that came out. It was taken June 19th to the 22nd. 1,416 registered voters, okay? Registered voters. And 87% of those Americans, those registered voters, are worried, 87% are worried that the United States is becoming less of a democracy. 61% are very worried. Put me in that category. 26% are somewhat worried. Half of Americans view the new voting laws being perpetuated and passed by Republican legislators in states as an attack on American democracy. Okay, so there you have a strong majority of Americans who get what's going on, and they just so happen to be registered voters. Isn't that special? Guess what? Mitch McConnell knows that too. And this is the exact kind of strong majority that Mitch McConnell does not want to have in this country. So know that. The other thing to know is that 1,000 political science scholars, 1,000 of them, signed onto a letter today in support of the voting rights bill. Okay, 1,000 of them. And you're talking about Lawrence Tribe, the constitutional law professor from Harvard. You're talking about professors of political science, associate professors of political science. You're talking about a large group of political scientists in this country. And I just want to read you one little paragraph from their letter. They said, from abolitionists to suffragettes, to those who marched and were beaten on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, to those who take to the streets today, countless Americans have put their lives and livelihoods on the line to expand and protect voting rights. As a result, enshrined in the 15th, 19th, 24th, and 26th Amendments is, quote, the right of citizens of the United States to vote, a right that, quote, shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state. Each of those amendments state at the end of them, quote, the Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. So when they tell you that there's a federalization of the voting rights or blah, 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 and we can't have that, this is a lie. Either that or the Constitution itself sucks. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to RandiRhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.